Hello, everyone, and welcome to the show. I've been out of commission the last couple weeks. Decided to, skip a couple weeks of the show because I had a big surgery. Well, a surgery. It wasn't really big, but I had a surgery. I wanted to recover. I didn't feel like putting effort into doing this. I just wanted to rest, watch Netflix, do whatever. So that is why I've been out of commission the last couple weeks, few weeks actually. But I am back, and breaking news coming out of the NBA yesterday: Blake Griffin has been traded to the Detroit Pistons. Now there are, of course, other assets involved in this trade. Here's the full trade: Clippers receiving Tobias Harris, Avery Bradley, Boban Marjanovic, these weird names, and a first and second round draft pick. Clippers are sending to Detroit Bryce Johnson and Willie Reed alongside Blake Griffin. Now, I've watched Blake Griffin play with the Clippers since he joined the team. He signed a huge, it was like 4 or 5 year deal this past summer, and after that deal, after the contract was signed, I thought Blake Griffin is not leaving the Clippers. There were trade talks surrounding him, you know, for the last, couple off seasons. It's like, oh, is he going to go to Boston? Is he going to go somewhere else? Is he going to stay in LA? He decides to stay in LA, signs the deal, and then out of nowhere, to me, this trade was kind of out of nowhere. I guess it was like, the last, 24, 48 hours that trade talks really started, to pick up. And then, boom, I saw yesterday, I was watching the Celtics game last night, and I see on the bottom line Blake Griffin traded to Detroit, and I was shocked. Seeing him in a different jersey than a Clippers jersey is going to be strange. Very strange, because I never thought he was going to leave. I thought he was going to kind of sit there. Eventually they would get out of the second round. Eventually they'd get something done. But guess not. Clippers are going into full rebuild mode. Question is, where's DeAndre Jordan going to go? There's also talks Lou Williams going somewhere. I think with all the stuff going down in Cleveland, DeAndre Jordan is probably going to get traded there. And Kevin Love is going to LA. Because Kevin Love has been the scapegoat of the Cavaliers. Kevin Love is not respected there. He is a great player. And honestly, I don't think he likes it there. He can smile in front of the camera all he wants, but he's been treated like garbage. Think about this. Derrick Rose left the team for weeks. He just said, oh, I'm done. He comes back weeks later and says, okay, guys, I'm sorry. And LeBron James and everyone's like, oh, yeah, no, it's fine, open arms. Kevin Love missed one practice, left one game because he wasn't feeling well. And he gets trashed. They will never admit to trashing Kevin Love, but he was trashed. They treat him like garbage in Cleveland. He's not going to be a Cavalier. If not at the deadline, I think in the offseason he's going to be gone. I don't see Kevin Love staying there. I don't know why he would want to stay there, the way he's treated. But that's just my opinion. Blake Griffin to Detroit, everyone. That was huge. Now, who won the deal? Since the Clippers, they're looking like they're gonna excuse me, they're looking like they're gonna be in rebuild mode. So, when I'm looking at it, Clippers got Harris, Bradley, couple draft picks. I think those draft picks will be huge, but I'm looking at it. I'm thinking Detroit, Andre Drummond, Blake Griffin. You got your role players. I think the Pistons, I think they're going to turn around. They're going to be a better team. I don't think, right now they're sitting at the 9 seed, right behind the 76ers. They are 2.5 games behind the Sixers. What I'm looking at the playoff picture right now, we got Celtics 1, Raptors 2, Cavs 3, Heat 4, Bucks 5, Wizards 6, Pacers 7, Sixers 8, and then the 3 teams behind them are the Pistons, Knicks, and Hornets. And between the Sixers and the Hornets, there are only 5 games. Now, we're about, 50 or so games into the season, give or take a few. With about 30-something games left, I don't see much changing in the East. In terms of the order, yeah, it's going to get crazy down the stretch. It's going to get mixed up down the stretch. The order will change. But the Pistons, I think, could squeeze into the playoffs. Who are they going to bounce out? Right now, it's looking like they can bounce out the Sixers. Because, I mean, maybe the Heat. Heat are down at 4 right now. Heat are in the 4th spot. Who would have thought of that? But, I mean, are the Heat for real? Are the Heat a team that can do anything in the playoffs? You know, right now, if the playoffs were today, they got to face the Bucks. Can they beat the Bucks in a 7-game series? I don't know about that. Speaking of the Bucks, they're now 4-0 without Jason Kidd. And I thought they were going to go down the tube after Jason Kidd left. Because Giannis was not very happy with that decision. But undefeated without Jason Kidd. Who would have knew? So looking at the playoffs right now, I think the Celtics will hold on to that 1 seed. You know, I mean, Cleveland's too inconsistent. I mean, they'll give you 11, 12 straight games and they'll, drop 9 of 12. So Cleveland, come playoff time, I think it will be a challenge. But right now, they're not looking very good. There's the lack of chemistry is visible. It's eye popping, really. And that brings me to another subject. Is LeBron James leaving Cleveland at the end of the year? If he were to leave Cleveland a second time, I think that would be insanely dumb on his part. And here's why. So in wrestling, it's called a heel turn when, a good guy goes to bad. Okay, it's called a heel turn. When LeBron James left Cleveland to go to Miami, he became the biggest heel in the NBA. People were burning his jerseys in Cleveland. People lost respect for him. People were like, oh, you just, you don't want to stay here and build a championship team with us. You just want to go and do it the easy way. LeBron James, after 4 seasons going 2-2 in the finals with the Miami Heat, came back to Cleveland and said, I want to win one here. I want to do it here at home. And what happened? They faced the Warriors in the finals. Warriors blew a 3-1 lead. Oh, but actually prior to that, Warriors stomped on them in 2015. So, there was that. But 2016 comes around. They get the job done. They win 3 straight games. An amazing Game 7. I still remember watching that Game 7. I was rooting for the Warriors because, I don't really have much respect for LeBron James. I don't like LeBron James. I can appreciate his greatness. I watch him and I'm like, that's a great basketball player. He's definitely one of the greatest of all time. But I don't have respect for his personality. I mean, he congratulated himself on Twitter. He patted himself on the back. He said, "Oh, congrats to you," before he even reached 30,000 points. That was low. That was not necessarily low, but I think that was dumb. I hated that. I really did. I thought, I think he's an egomaniac, honestly. I think he loves himself, and he goes out there and he will say, "Oh, I'm the greatest player in the world." You can be the greatest player in the world. You can go out there and be the best player on the court every single night. But when you get interviewed out back, and someone says, "Oh, one of the journalists," they'll be like, "Oh, do you think you're the best player today?" You don't sit there and say, "Hell yeah, I am." No. That's being cocky. That's having a huge ego. What you do is you sit there and you say, there's a lot of great players in this league and I'm just happy to be a part of it. Or something like that. That's how you do an interview. And that's my problem with LeBron James. He doesn't do that. So, I think there's a strong possibility he leaves. And I think he's going to go out west if he leaves. But I think there's a better opportunity out here in the East. I think going to LA would be good. A lot of young talent there. Going to Houston would be good, but they're going to have to lose a lot. San Antonio is up in the air. That's a possibility. But I think the best opportunities in the East, and that's with the 76ers. Can you imagine LeBron James with Joel Embiid and Ben Simmons and the supporting cast around them? A lot of young talent, a lot of great talent. Right now they're sitting 24 and 23, 8th seed, holding on tight right there. This team has a lot of potential. They need a veteran, a veteran player to bring everyone together. LeBron James going to Philly would be they would be my pick to be in the finals next season. Even Celtics with Gordon Hayward, I don't think they could beat Sixers with LeBron James. 100% honest. Don't think that would happen. But if he's going anywhere, it's very much looking like he's going to the Lakers. And I don't get it. I don't. I just, I don't. I don't want to believe he's gonna leave. I don't want him to go anywhere. If he goes out west, oh, that's great for the Celtics. They'll get to the finals every year for the next couple years. But they're either going to be playing, they're going to be playing Golden State or Houston, or if LA becomes legit, they'll be playing LA. I don't want to lose every year. You know what I mean? LA is currently the 11th seed, 19 and 30. That's not good for Celtics fans. For Celtics fans, if you know, they own the Lakers pick, but they need them to be between 2 and 5 come draft lottery time. Lakers currently the 11th seed in the West, and that probably puts them around the 10th spot of worst records. So that's not good. They need to lose some games. That's why that game against the Lakers was so huge. Celtics needed to win that game. This year, my final four teams are Celtics, Cavs, Rockets, Warriors. And I would love to see Celtics, Rockets. I would love to see Celtics, Rockets. And I think there's a very strong chance. The Rockets have shown that they are legit. Harden and Chris Paul have this weird chemistry that, when you threw Chris Paul over there, you're like, okay, well, they've never played together. I don't think it's going to balance out. It's not going to be like, as clean cut as it was in LA when Chris Paul was dropping dimes to Blake Griffin. Chris Paul goes to Houston, and things click right away. I think Houston has proven to be a powerhouse. They're 35 and 13. The 4 games back of the Warriors. However, they've played 2 less games. So let's just say they're realistically they're 2 or 3 games back, something like that. All right. Warriors 40 and 10, first team to 40 wins. So I think if the Rockets were to beat the Warriors in the West Finals, it's going to be 6 or 7 games, most likely 7 games. I think that's going to be an amazing series. Do the Spurs or T-Wolves have a chance of getting to the West Finals instead of the Rockets? Spurs look dysfunctional right now. They're still 33 and 19. It's astounding how they're still winning games. But come playoff time, I think even a team like the Thunder or T-Wolves can knock the Spurs out. T-Wolves I don't think are legit. I don't think, they lost to the Hawks last night. I don't think they're legit at all. I don't think T-Wolves are even in the top 10 of best teams in the NBA right now. Thunder are finally getting things together. Pelicans are done. Boogie Cousins out for the year. So Pelicans will probably drop out of playoff contention, sadly. I liked watching that team. That team was Anthony Davis, when he played the Celtics and dropped those 40-something points, I was really mad at him because, he gave the Pelicans that win. But, I can appreciate Anthony Davis and how good him and Boogie Cousins are. Sadly, Boogie Cousins is out. So that's my take on the NBA right now. Again, Blake Griffin traded. Cavs have won 2 straight. Celtics beat the Nuggets by 1 last night because the Nuggets coach doesn't know how to actually coach. He had a timeout in 5 seconds. Could have brought the ball to half court, drawn up a play, given his guys time. Instead, he decides not to call a timeout, and a guy just throws the ball up deep 3 and he missed. Well, actually, it was tipped in by a guy, but it was too late. The buzzer had already gone off. Excuse me. So, Celtics squeezed by there. They're 21 games over 500, which is astounding. One more thing, actually. And there's been a lot. I'm in a Celtics group chat on Facebook, right? And I've seen a lot of chit chat about Gordon Hayward. You know, Brad Stevens says, "Oh, we don't expect him back this year." But then I see a report from a guy who follows the team, talks to the doctors, watches Gordon, watches Hayward shoot the basketball, does do his exercises, and he says it is probable that we can see Gordon Hayward this season. Not there's a chance. He said it is probable. If we see Gordon Hayward, excuse me, jeez. If we see Gordon Hayward, it's going to be in the finals. He's not going to come back for these finals, I don't think. I think if he is medically cleared, I think he'll be coming off the bench, limited minutes in the finals. He's not going to be starting because Brown, Tatum, they've taken those two spots for this season. Those are their spots. They are the small forward and the power forward. Gordon Hayward will not be taking their spots this season. He will take his spot back next season, and the Celtics are going to be ridiculously good next season. Right now they have played 51 games, 36 wins. They could win 60. They could win 60 games. I mean, they got hold on. They got 51. That means they got 31 games left. They got to go 24-7 to win 60 games. They got to start rolling. They got to put off another 10-game winning streak or something cool. Let's go C's. Bleed green. Okay, let's move on to the Boston Bruins, who play tonight. They play... Cannot remember who the Bruins play tonight. Well, anyway, the Bruins are second in the Atlantic. They are 29-10-8 with 66 points in 47 games. They've played 2 less games than the Lightning. Let's assume they win those 2 games. Let's just assume they get those 4 points. They would only be 1 point behind the Lightning for the first seed in the Atlantic Division. They have a 18 point streak. They play at 7 against the Ducks, so there's that. So yeah, it's 17 or 18 game point streak. They're 8-0-2 in their last 10. I believe it's 17, so 13-0-4 in that 17 game span. I think this team's legit. I did not expect them to be this good, but I think this team is legit. And I think they will probably play the Lightning in the Eastern Conference Finals if they can get there. I think it's going to be a very tough road. You don't want them to play the Capitals. We all know that. They cannot play the Capitals for their lives. Sorry. But I think if they keep with this momentum, they keep pushing, they keep winning hockey games, they keep going, they don't drop off at the end of the season like they like to do the last few seasons. They keep going, they go into the playoffs strong. I think that they could be a legitimate contender for the Eastern Conference Finals. Now, when it comes to the Western Conference, all right, Blackhawks are in last place in the Central Division. They are 23-19-7. Now, granted, they are only 10 points out of a playoff spot, maybe even less with the wild card. I'm looking at division standings right now, but I don't know how the Blackhawks can recover. They do not look like the Chicago Blackhawks. They look more like the Arizona Coyotes. I mean, they don't look very good at all. They look terrible. Terrible. You know who looks good, though? The Vegas Golden Knights. Are they for real? I don't think so. Come playoff time, I think they're going to lose in the first or second round. I think it's a new team. It looks great. It's like, oh, wow, this team is very good. The Golden Knights. Can you believe it? What a story, They have the whole, of course we all know about the Vegas shooting, and it's like, oh, wow, we have this big story, come out, win the Stanley Cup in our first year for our guys. That would be awesome. That would be such a great story, but I think this team is very good, but I don't think that come playoff time, I don't think they're going to be a very good playoff team. They got to beat the same team 4 times in 2 weeks. That's always the saying when it comes to NHL or NBA. You got to beat this team 4 times in 2 weeks. Can you do it? That's why people always pick the Warriors or even the Cavs, because no one thinks they can beat them 4 times in 2 weeks. Can the Golden Knights beat can they beat the Jets 4 times in 2 weeks? Can they beat the Predators 4 times in 2 weeks? Can they beat the Blues 4 times in 2 weeks? Hell, could they beat the Sharks 4 times in 2 weeks? I think the Golden Knights are good. I think they're great. I think they could potentially maybe make the Western Conference Finals, but I see them losing in the second round. So, my pick, Final Four in the NHL, I'm going to go with Bruins Lightning. I really, I may be, saying that because I love the Boston Bruins. I'm a Bruins fan, but they got a 40 goal differential. Plus 40. 17-game point streak. 66 points in 47 games. I think this team is legit. They've got their veterans. They got their young talent. They got 2 solid goaltenders. You got Rask and Hudobin, who have been playing excellent hockey. Rask at the beginning of the season, it was looking like he was going to fall off a cliff. There were trade talks like, oh, should we just get rid of Rask? And I'm sitting over here as everyone's talking about, oh, we need to get rid of Rask. We can get a lot for him. I'm sitting here and I'm like, Rask is a great goalie. He's having a slump. He's going to come out and he's going to play good hockey this season. And he has done that. So I may be playing like the home team card here, because I love the Bruins. I want to believe in the Bruins, but when I'm looking at it, if they play the Capitals, I don't know. I don't think they can beat the Capitals in a 7-game series. I think the Capitals that's their kryptonite really. But they've shown that they can beat the Lightning. They've beaten the Lightning already this season. So I'm going to say Bruin Lightning representing the East. Bruins Lightning, and for the West, I don't know. As of right now, everyone's played around 50 games. Still got 30 games to go. Predators, they represented the West in the finals last year. I'd probably go Predators Blues, honestly. I mean, you look at the standings, Blues have played 4 more games. That's the only problem. But, probably Predators Blues. I don't think the Jets can get up there. I think the Jets are really good. I think they could beat, a team like the Golden Knights or the Sharks. But I don't think they'd be able to beat, a team like the Predators or the Blues or even the Flames, honestly. So I'm going to go Predators Blues for the West and Bruins Lightning for the East. Because we all know Capitals will probably choke at some point. So there's my take on the NHL. Now here is the big thing. Let's discuss the NFL draft. Oh boy. Oh boy. So, right now, okay, the Cleveland Browns have the 1st and 4th overall pick. There are many good QBs in this draft. We got Josh Allen, we got Josh Rosen, we got Sam Darnold. Of course, there's Baker Mayfield. There's Minka Fitzpatrick, who is a defensive back, who originally was, projected to go to the Giants at number 2. But now people are saying Giants are going to draft a QB. Alright? Now, I want to believe that, but part of me thinks they won't do it. Part of me thinks they're going to stick with Eli Manning. Part of me thinks Eli Manning's not done. They're going to try and, build a better team around him, make some moves, and they're going to give the ball to Eli Manning come week 1. So if that's the case, why would they waste their pick on a QB they're not even going to use and probably would just even trade? I think the Giants are a broken organization. And I think if they don't pick a QB, I think they're going to get crap for it. But I don't think they're done with Eli. So, but reason I'm talking about this is I want to talk about the Cleveland Browns. Now, the Cleveland Browns have the first and fourth pick. I think number one, they should not be taking a QB. You have so many good QBs in this class: Allen, Rosen, Darnold, Mayfield, etc., etc., etc. You have so many good QBs. Why would you pass up on the best running back in college football, Saquon Barkley? Because if you don't grab him one, who's to say the Giants won't grab him at two? Because if they really do want to stick with Eli, if they trust Eli Manning, yeah, that's his name, right? Ben McAdoo, he's gone. He's the one who benched Eli. The front office didn't bench Eli, he did. The front office, I think, believes in Eli Manning. So, if Saquon Barkley's available, why wouldn't the Giants take him? Browns should be taking Saquon Barkley first. And then let's say the Giants are like, okay, fine, we'll take Josh Allen. Okay, we will take that QB. And then let's say at 3, it's the Broncos, I believe. Yes, it's the Broncos. Let's say they're like, okay, Rosen or Darnold, we'll go with Rosen. Now, I think honestly, Sam Darnold is the last guy I would pick. Out of Rosen, Allen, Darnold, and Mayfield, Sam Darnold is the last guy I would pick. He turns the ball over too much. I don't think he's as good as people think. I think the other 3 guys are so much better than him. So, let's just say, okay, Browns, they do, in my opinion, the smart thing. They take Barkley 1, Giants take Rosen 2, or Allen, or Allen 2, Broncos take Rosen 3. Now you got either Sam Darnold, or you can go and pick Baker Mayfield, who's right now projected at 13. But if Baker Mayfield is there, if you take Barkley at 1, and you have Baker Mayfield, Heisman player, had 4 years in college, and in my opinion, the most NFL ready. I think people compare him to Johnny Manziel because of his off-the-field issues. I don't think he's anything close to Johnny Manziel. I think he is so much more mature. I think his off-the-field garbage is all done with, and I really believe, he threw, it was like 70+% completion percentage through 4 years at Oklahoma. He played 4 years. He is NFL ready. Draft Baker Mayfield 4. Barkley 1, Mayfield 4, because Mayfield's going to be there. Okay, I think out of these 4 guys, Mayfield's the most ready, Darnold's the least ready, Rosen and Allen, you never know. And of course, with all college players, anyone can be a bust. Anyone can be a bust. We've seen first overall picks be bust before, or not live up to the hype at least. So, that's what I think they should do. 100%. I think they should just take Barkley 1. I don't think they're going to do it. I doubt they'll do it. But if you don't take him, who's to say the Giants won't? Give Eli a running game so he doesn't have to throw the ball 35 times, 40 times a game. Give him a running game. But, that's just me. What do I know? I'm not a GM. So, I guess that could be it for this episode. Did a solid half hour. Did we cover everything? I believe we did. So I was actually going to put out a list of top 15 greatest athletes of all time. Now this list was going to be only the 4 major North American sports: baseball, hockey, basketball, and football. The reasoning for that, the reason I wouldn't include tennis or boxing or golf or whatever, is just because I don't know enough about those sports. I am a team sports guy. I really only watch those 4 sports. I really don't watch the other ones. I'll sit down and watch tennis with my great aunt sometimes, but that's very, very rare occasions. So I was going to compile this list, top 15. My friend brought this up to me, and I thought it was very interesting. The list is not ready, because that is probably the hardest list you could make. Greatest athletes of all time, that's a tough list, because you can't just look at stats when it comes to this. You can't just say, oh yeah, he's first because he has the best stats. No, you got to look at impact they had on the community, on the sport, etc. Things like that. So I'm gonna try and have that list ready for next week, And if so, that'll be the first thing on the agenda. That'll be the first thing discussed. So I'm going to try hard to do that this week. I have all the time in the world to do that this week, but we will see. We will see. If I don't have it, it's just because it's such a difficult list to make. Such a difficult list. So I'm going to try and get that out for you guys next week. This has been Sporting It All. Thanks for joining the show. Appreciate you being here. Tune in next week. Probably same day. We'll see. Could be same day, could be not. See you guys. Peace.